as I mentioned, I am not a Chinese San, I'm not an English San, I am a Malay San, okay, or Malaysian San. In this debate of so-called Chinese chauvinists and English chauvinists, it's not a labeling about the ethnicity, but more about their mindset, the Chinese, the background, and so on. Of course, there are two. I mean, this so-called debate revolve around two major groups in the DAP: those who are English educated and those who are Chinese educated. But DAP is more than that. DAP is not just about Chinese educated or English educated. They are Chinese who are Chinese educated, English educated, as well as Malay educated, like me, like myself. And where do I fit? I am neither Chinese, what I call it, Hua Sha, or I'm neither Hua Sha or Ying Sha. I'm neither this group or that group. I think it's unhealthy to label DAP members or DAP leaders in such a grouping. We must be able to think like Malaysians, and we must be able to appreciate each other, that even though we have different background, different cultural background, different educational background, we should not be labeled each other as such. And we should celebrate the diversity in the DAP. And mind you that the DAP is not about only Chinese membership. We have many Indians. I would say that 15 to 20% of our memberships consist of Indian members. We have Malay members as well. We have Kadazan, Iban, Bidayo, Orang Asli members as well. So it's not, you cannot generalize that DAP is only consists of these two groups. DAP is larger than that. DAP is bigger than that. And DAP is a diversified party. And I always stress that the diversity in DAP must be made as a strength, as a positive factor for the DAP. We are more diversified. The more that we are more diversified, the better we are. And we must espouse that we must have unity in diversity. Diversity is not a problem. Differences are not a problem, but a strength. Of course, I think number one, we expect and we want to convince every DAP member and DAP leader is that, firstly, we must act and think like a Malaysian party. It's not to say that it is a zero-sum game. I'm not asking everyone to forget about your roots, to forget about Chinese issues, to forget about Indian issues. No, everyone has, I think, a role to play. Every community has their own concerns. We have to address the concerns of different communities. But while we address the concerns of our community, we have to be more sensitive. We have to be more, what I call that, in terms of our narrative, have to be more Malaysian. So I think it's in terms of approach. How do we carry issues? How do we speak up? How do we project ourselves? I think that is important. I'm not saying that we stop talking about UEC, we stop talking about concerns about the Chinese and Indian community. Of course, there are a lot of concerns among the minorities, among the Chinese and Indian community, as well as other communities. But at the same time, we try to bring everyone to see that actually a lot of issues today faced by the country, faced by the different communities, are universal, are also faced by the Malay communities. So it is our role to bridge the gap, to bridge the gap and to close the differences, to close the gap of differences, and try to think that actually issues surrounding us are universal, are back to the core issues of whether or not we have good governance, or whether or not the government of the day will treat everyone fairly, will conduct their governance in a transparent and fair manner. So I think, even though it's not easy to bridge the gap, but we must try. We must try to let everybody to understand each other better. I think it is very much because people do not see from others' angle. So usually in a lot of our debate in Malaysian context is that we see from our own angle. We see from our own perspective. It's important for us to encourage understanding of concerns of each other. Yes, of course, there are different, I would say, different take or different opinions on such debate within the DAP. But as far as you said, whether or not it will lead to a split in DAP, I don't think so. Okay, I am very confident that at the end of the day, everyone will still rally behind the party.